Hello everyone and welcome back to my content. Welcome back to my Foundation Galactic Frontier videos. So today folks, I want to talk about the guild versus guild day one best things to farm to help you make the most of your farming experience for guild versus guild on day one. So obviously a lot of people will tell you to hoard your resources for each day of the guild versus guild, because there are certain things that you can do on each day of guild versus guild that will get you the most amount of points. Now, I try to do that the best I can, but I'm kind of in a tough situation with that one because it's hard for me to hoard because I have to make content and I need to make it whenever, the mood hits, and I've got to be free to spend my resources when I need to so that I can showcase certain mechanics and things like that in the videos that I'm making. Excuse me. So it makes it a little harder for me than the average player to actually hoard, but hoarding is the way to go if you want to do very well in guild versus guild. Now, for guild versus guild, I'm just going to show you the guild that we have today is from server number 1032, a guild named Apex. We're server 1026. We're the guild named NASA, the asteroids. And we're on day one of guild versus guild. As you can see, we're doing really well. I think we pretty much got this in the bag because there's only 6 hours left on day one. But I wanted to talk about some of the good things to do on guild versus guild day one. If you go right here on each one of the days, if you click on each one of the days, there will be this little flag, thing right here that helps you understand what points you can get for what activities on each one of the days. For us on day number one, the things you need to do on day number one is consume build speed ups. So if you have build projects that you're gonna set for that day, or you have some that are currently in progress already, use those build speed ups and hoard those build speed ups so that when this day hits, you can boom, drop a bunch of them on this day and get super big points. Consuming ship speed ups, ship building speed ups will also get you a bunch of points. So if you've just come off of a PvP event, which for us, it did happen that way. We had the Path to Glory PvP event, and then boom, the next day we jumped right into guild versus guild. So if it works that way on your calendar, it may be wise to hoard these shipbuilding speed ups. One of the best places to get those is from farming Ascendancy minions, and I'm going to showcase that here in a minute because that's what I'm doing to get points right now. And then you can bust out a bunch of these and rebuild yourself from PvP. I have already gotten myself rebuilt from the PvP. My hangar is currently full, and I'm awaiting the next chance to get some PvP in. And on day 6 of the guild versus guild is when I'll get my next chance, I think, unless some other event drops in that gives good glory for PvP. Type of thing. So you do trade shipping 3 times, so that's just your basic shipping runs. You should be doing those as much as possible anyway. You should have 2 ships going on trade shipping runs at all times. Every single second that you're in the game, you should have trade shipping going because the rewards are just too good. I would suggest you focus on galactic coins because you will find as you get later into the stages of the game, the galactic coins are the most important resource in the game. You will never have enough. Once you get to the latest stage and you try to upgrade your fleets, try to do researches, try to do just buy in your store, everything, you're going to need all kinds of galactic coins. So those are super, super important. There are times when you will want to focus on water and metal in your trade shipping runs. Like when you're trying to get yourself to the place that you have enough resources to set your next core build and that kind of stuff. But for the most part, galactic coins is where it's at for the trade shipping runs. Now you can also do defeat a deliverer arc, and those are super good too. if you have the items in your inventory to allow you to spawn one of those. You get these as part of the Jody event that goes on at the same time. Let me show you this one right here. You get these little things right here for a ascendancy intelligence, and it's a chance for when you use them that you can get these little blueprints right here, like I just got, for clues about where the ascendancy cult ships are at. Okay, when you use these, it spawns one of those, and then those are usually weak enough to where you can farm those by yourself if you want to. It's probably good for you to allow the guild to join in with you, and you can, you can set the rally for 1 minute, and that's not too big of a inconvenience. But if you are in a position where you have a bunch of those that you want to use, you could set your rally to auto start with a minimum of 1, and you will immediately hit those, and you can just go through them one after the other. It's a good way to grab some points real quick. If you're going down to the wire on day 1 and you still need to get some points, that's a good way to do it. These are super good to do, though, because these give you Jody fragments at a chance, and those are always good to get because this is definitely a hero that you want to put some effort into. So whenever her event is live, you always want to focus on that. And that's by using those and then using these to summon those ships. So that's one way you can get some good points. You also, that's the Deliverer arc. And then my favorite for day 1 is Ascendancy Minions. This is kind of a personal choice because you need to pick a strength rating on these Ascendancy Minions that you can farm reliably without having to worry about your fleets getting destroyed or causing you to go through too many repair modules every single time. So if you're trying to go for the top bracket on these and it's just almost slaughtering your fleet every single time, you may need to back it down 1 or 2, and that way you can farm them more reliably and not have to burn through all your repair modules too fast, because you'll find yourself in a position where you can't heal, and then you'll have to back it down anyway. So you might as well just back it down if your power level is at a point to where you can't reliably take them. Whenever you get to a place where you have T5 support craft, the smartest move for you is to go right here for this top bracket and do level 51s, because this is a range, you'll notice, from 51 to 60, 60 being the highest level ascendancy minions on the map. And then 51 is part of that bracket too, and everything from 51 to 60. So if you're going to get the same amount of points for a level 60 versus a level 51, it's to your benefit to go ahead and just spawn the 51s and do those, because if you're going to be farming these, you're going to need to kill hundreds of them. Once you get to the place that you need millions of points to be able to get all your chests. So it's going to be to your advantage to just focus on the 51s. Yes, I know that a 51 and a 60 cost the same amount of action points to spawn in. It costs 10 per attempt. And yes, I do know that the 60s give a little bit more loot. But for the cost of the repair modules that the 60s are going to put on you, you're better off to just do the 51s, honestly. I personally feel, because I don't feel like the return on investment on resources that you get as loot is so much better that it causes you to have to focus on 60s. But we're going to talk about how to farm these effectively here in just a second, because this one is kind of key for you in this day of the event, because this one will also give you Jody fragments, and this one will also give you ship buildup speed ups, and those are going to be super important for you to hoard for this day on the next one, because you can get points for rushing your shipbuilding speeds, and just to have them to rebuild from PvP is just awesome. You can also do the sacred tributes, because you get 4,300 for no matter what level you do. So a lot of people will go for this one instead, because Oh, wait a minute. That's the wrong one. I've got ahead of myself. I'm meant to be talking about this one. Just the normal tribute vessel rally. It is 1 through 60 is the range. So that means that for any level from 1 through 60, you're going to get 12,900 points for each one. Okay. A lot of people are like, which one's better between these two, Ascendancy Minions or Tribute Vessels? Now, that's a rabbit hole that we could go down for an hour. I mean, we could get in the weeds and we could do the math on the resources and the return rate. But honestly, I'm just going to say that I have landed on Ascendancy Minions because for a level 51, I get 4,300 points. For a level 60, I get 12,900 points. This costs 30 AP to do one of these. This costs 10 AP to do one of these. By the time I do 3 of these for the same AP cost as one, I will get the same amount of points. 3 times 4,300 is 12,900. So you can see that doing 3 of these or one of these is about the same thing. Honestly, it's faster to just do these because for these, if you're trying to do the high level ones, you may have to set your rallies longer than a minute. You'll have to wait for people to join you. With these, you can just set your rally to immediately start right away because you'll have your ships hopefully to the power that each one of your fleets can take one of these each time, and you can just cycle through them 3 fleets at a time farming these, and you'll see that your points go way up. Also, the discussion about this one doesn't give you ship speed ups and this one does, and then the Jody fragments makes this one a winner in my book. This is a winner all day long because you end up with more Jody fragments doing this one. Now, the last one on the list, other than earning credits through packs, we realize that's a thing on every day because obviously the development company has to make money. So they want to incentivize players to buy packs. So you get points for that. But this one right here is also one that you may want to think about doing. You launch a tribute rally or launch a rally and defeat a sacred tribute vessel. The sacred tribute vessels are just like the normal tribute vessels, but a lot stronger, and they give a lot better loot. So they give better points. But the deal is you only get a limited amount of these because they only spawn randomly when you're killing the normal tribute vessels. So you may kill 1 tribute vessel, normal strength, and 1 spawn, or it may take you 20 before 1 spawns for you. You never know because it's a random number generation type thing. So that means that you're not going to see these as often. Now, if you have a pretty happening busy guild, there will be probably a lot of these out in the solar system because your people are spawning them and then just not able to take them down because these are super tough. These take a good size rally to be able to take. You can't really tank these by yourself. You could if you probably were pretty strong and you go down to a lower level system and you hit some 1s and some 2s and some 3s. But those ramp up in difficulty so fast that you're not going to be able to take a level 10 by yourself until you're way on down in the progression of the game, like all T7s, using all your fleets and that type of thing. I'm just saying that's how hard they are. So these require a good group in a rally to take down, and that makes them something that makes them not as appealing to a lot of people because there's many reasons why. It takes a really active guild to be able to fill a lot of these rallies all the time and reliably. Then there's also the problem of people that set rallies for these that aren't watching their rallies and they don't know what they're doing, and they are like 100k fleet power and they set a rally for a level 10. They're going to get destroyed, and everybody in their rally is going to get destroyed because that rally leader is the one that sets the strength for the rally. The rally leader's buffs and researches and ships and all that stuff set the strength for the rally and how well the rally is going to do. So it's to your benefit to only join these when the strongest people in your alliance are the ones setting the rallies, because then you have a little bit of grace, bump period in there to where a strong leader can take a level 10 with 5, 6 rally members, whereas a weak leader would need all 12 to 14 people in the rally to even think about standing a chance, and then we'll probably lose anyway. So these are really dicey. There is a way around this. A rally leader that is watching their rally can actually cancel the rally right before it gets defeated, if that's going to be the case. So that means you have to be active and watching your rally to make sure that you don't cost the people that are joining your rally their support ships, because I'm telling you, people will get pissed off when they start to lose their support ships because you're setting a rally on these and then going and making a sandwich and then coming back and saying, oh, darn it, it failed. Well, that's stupid, because then you've got everybody pissed off that joined your rally because they lost a T5, T6 craft, and now it cost them hundreds of thousands of resources and 8 hours to rebuild that craft, and it takes a hit on their power, and they're just not happy, and they will not join your rallies anymore. So if you're going to set a rally on these, man, I need to make a video just about these alone, because I'm telling you, that gets very frustrating. I'm to the point to where I won't even join these rallies anymore unless it's somebody strong leading the rally, and we're at an active period in our day where I know that we can get 8 to 10 people to join a rally each time. That way it's a guaranteed win. Whenever it's a slow period and you can only get 4 or 5 people to join your rally, just cancel it and go do something else, because you're just going to waste everybody's time and cause them to lose their resources. So it's not cool. Now, let's talk about what I feel is the most important thing to grind on day one, and that is ascendancy minions. And I'm going to show you one of the ways that I grind level 51s just to make it go as fast as possible. So we're going to go back and we're going to talk about that right now. Okay, so let's get into it. As you can see, I've got all 3 of my ships here in the same area because I'm fixing to start farming some ascendancy minions in this area. I've picked the Zarnus system, which is a level 9 system, because in the level 9 system I can get the highest level tribute vessels that I want, all the way up from 1 to 60. Now, like we discussed earlier, I don't really think it's beneficial for you to farm them at 60, just for the simple fact of the repair module cost will be so much higher than it will be if you just stick to 51. Because remember, the range on this point drop is 51 to 60. So yes, I do understand that as you go back down the levels, the rewards get less and less. But if you'll notice something, the level 60s, you get the Jody fragments, you get 6 minutes of shipbuilding speed ups, and the only thing that really goes down is the resources that you get from each one of these. But you're going to be if you're going to be farming like me, you're going to have to do a couple hundred of these to make up the points that you're missing from the other areas that you didn't hoard resources for. So this is not really going to be that big of a concern, because this is not why you're here anyway. You're here for points to go towards day one, and you're here for the chests that you're trying to farm. Now, the chests that you're trying to farm will be anywhere from 25,000, 95, 180,000 points, 358,000, 525, 1.350. And then depending on the level of your guild versus guild research, you may be able to get to the highest tier where you can get the highest level chest, but that's 4 million points to be able to get to that chest. I get it that that's really super awesome, but to get to that point, it's going to take a minute because you have to go through this tree all the way to here to unlock the second level of chests. And then you go down through these and you get to your final level of chests here. Now, to get this one unlocked right here, it's going to take quite a bit of research in the requirements before it. Like this one, you've got to get to 15. This one, you've got to get to, what was it, 6 and 6. And just to get to that point, it's going to be insane because you'll have to pretty much max out all these, max out all this, because it's going to step up the requirements as you go down. Now, as you get this one unlocked, then the last thing you'll have is this last part of the tree here. And it's just everything else giving you extra points for different various tasks like fighting, using speed ups, advancing heroes, doing trade missions, those kind of things. You'll get extra points. Honestly, in my opinion, it's smart to rush to unlock this one, and then I would say go back and max these out, because these are where you're going to get your biggest bang for your buck on the research. You're going to get points for using speed ups. You're going to get points for doing trade missions. You're going to get points for fighting. And these are going to give you your biggest bang for your buck as far as giving you extra points for the tasks that you're going to be doing each day. Get those to 10. Well, actually, you can get this one when you get them to like 4 or 5 each or something like that. Then unlock this one, go back and do these to 10, and then start to work your way down the tree. Because as you get into these higher level researches, it costs you a lot of these, and you're going to have trouble getting a lot of those at the start. So the first couple guild versus guild battles is going to be all about you earning these so that you can get your researches done, and you get those from those chests that you get. Each one that you open will have the certain amount of these computational components in them, and that's what you use for your guild research. So that's why these are getting your chests is super important, because you want to get your chests so that you can get these. And then once you've done like 3 or 4 guild versus guild events, if you've really been participating, you should have your research about maxed at that point. And then you can kind of chill on worrying about these, but you'll still want to get your chests because the rewards are super good. The rewards in the chests themselves are good. And then the pool energy will help you do good as a guild, and then if you can win those days, you'll get rewards for those days that you won, and then at the end you get a whole bunch of rewards for how well you did. So it compounds, and it is a very good event. The guild versus guild event is honestly one of the best events in the game as far as getting resources. So how are we going to work it to where we can farm these more effectively? And I am going to have to restart the game because one of my fleets is invisible. This one right here is supposed to be right there, and I don't see it. So hang on 1 second. I got to restart the game so you can see what I'm doing. So every now and then you have to do this. You have to restart the game so that you can get around a few little bugs that happen with rallies and things. It seems like a lot. For me, that seems to be the reason why I have to restart the game about once or twice a day, is because of rallies bugging out. So I don't know, if that gives the developers that are watching my content a little hint on something they need to focus on. It might be trying to improve that performance, because now you can see that now that I've restarted the game, here's all 3 of my fleets where I need them to be. So I'm going to go ahead and move over just a little bit because I got a guy right there in my way. And I want to be in a place where you guys can see what I'm doing without a lot of other fleets distracting. All right, this is a pretty good spot. I'm going to stay right here. I like to group my fleets up together because when I spawn the ships that I'm going to farm, I like for them to stay in the same area. And eventually they will like spawn way over here and it'll cause you to peel one off, but you can group them back up after you kill events. So you put your targeting mechanic on select because you're going to want to do each individual ship its own enemy so that you can farm them quickly. Let's look at where I'm at real quick. I'm just a little over 1,000,000 points right now, and I want to get to this chest right here so that I can then relax for the day and go do something else because I've gotten the best reward I can get, because right now I don't have this tier unlocked. So unless we're just really struggling to try to win, and this is a close one, once I get to this point, I'll probably just put it on cruise control for the rest of the day and hoard my stuff for the next day's event. So that's kind of a, a good way to play. That way I'm doing all I can for myself. I'm doing all I can for the guild. And, you know, we're just trying to be the best member we can to contribute type of thing. So the fastest way to farm these is to just put it on select, choose one ship, do a search. I'm going to farm for 51s. And once you spawn one, it'll lock it in at 51 to where you can do that every single time. It spawns right next to your group. You're going to use 10 AP, so it's really wise to have some AP stored up. We'll talk about that here in just a second because AP is critical in this game. Action points, you do your actions with those and you'll need a ton of them. So I'm going to go ahead and attack with this ship. And I wanted to show you real quick how I had my rally set, because I have my rally set on 1 member, immediately start, and 1 minute. So what that does is the second I target something, my ship will immediately go attack it, and I don't sit there and wait for 1 full minute for the rally to start for somebody else to join. Then you choose your next ship, search for one, and it keeps putting them farther out away from me. And then you choose your next ship, you search for one, and sometimes it'll pick the same one. You want to go ahead and search again when it does that, because you want to find individual targets for each one of your ships. So search, I get another one to pop up, and boom, it attacks. Now, I misspoke about the rally settings on this. I forgot that the ascendancy minions are just a personal thing, so that whenever you attack those, your one ship will go after it and you don't have to worry about rally settings. For the tribute rallies, that's where you're going to have to start thinking about the settings, because those are for everyone type of thing. But these ascendancy minions are just like a personal enemy. You could have multiple ships in your fleet attack one, but honestly, it's more efficient to have each ship go after one. That way your points will rack up a lot faster. If I had all 3 ships attack this one, it would take a minute to get it killed, and then I would go for 1 more after that. And that's really slow compared to doing 3 at once like I'm doing right now. Each time you defeat one of these, you will get a return on your health from the game that you didn't have to spend your repair modules on. So this one right here is fixing to die. We'll see that the health on this ship will go back up. Boom, saw it go back up right there. It also gives you the ability to use some repair modules, because the game only gives you a certain amount of health back after the defeat, and it could be a situation to where it doesn't repair you fully. We'll probably see that on these two, my weaker ships in my fleet. Once we get a kill on these, we'll see how much health it returns them, and it probably won't be full like this one was. So here in just a second, one of these two will defeat their enemies. Come on, let's go. Okay, boom. That one got a full heal. This one will get close to a full heal probably. And the weaker the fleet, it takes a little bit longer to kill them, but it's still going to be more efficient to do all 3 at once like this. Okay, this one's fixing to die. We'll see the return on health. Okay, so went ahead and filled all 3 of them up to full, which, may not be your result because of the strength of your fleets. It does give you the option after the battle to use the repair modules on each one of them. I like to not use repair modules as much as possible so that I let the game restore my health. But there will come a time when you will have to use repair modules, because it won't fill your bar up fully on some battles when it takes your health down just a little bit too low. So just be conscious about how you're doing that. And then you just keep on, rinse and repeat, go through them one at a time. Select an enemy, make sure it gives you a separate target, choose your next fleet, select an enemy, make sure it gives you an individual target for each one, and now I've got 3 ships going at once. Now my points are going to start racking up a lot faster, because you saw just a minute ago I was at 1,000,009 or something. Now I'm at 1,037,000. So it's going up quite a bit. So I'm only going to have to do like 10 rounds of 3 to be able to get the points that I need to be able to get to that last chest, but I saved enough so that I could show you the action of farming with multiple fleets at once, because it's really just the most efficient way to be. So this one's about to be done. I choose him, I select another one, boom, I attack. This one's done now. Well, it's not. It just didn't spawn in. Waiting on these two because these are my weaker fleets. They're still strong enough that they can take a 51 without dying. So it's very effective for me because I'm able to spawn 51s for all three. They do take longer than this one though, because obviously this is my most powerful fleet, so it will kill this in half the time that it takes these. But it doesn't take them down to the point that their health bar is so low that I can't recover by what the game gives me as health back from these, so it makes it efficient for me to focus on 51s. Now, for you guys, you may be stronger than me and you may decide to bump it up to 60 because of the return on the resources that you get from your rewards. That's totally acceptable if you want to do that. If you're weaker than me, you may want to back it down to where you're attacking 41s or whatever the next bracket is down, because the 51 may just cost you just a little bit too much in repair modules. So that's just kind of a personal choice. But the point is, you want to be doing this one after another like this so that you can reclaim some of your time in your day. Whoops, I didn't change my ship that I attacked with before I did that, and I accidentally attacked the wrong one. So you're going to have to pay attention to that, because if you get to talking while you're doing it and you're not paying attention, oh, I didn't get that one, dang it, you'll accidentally send some of your fleets to attack the same one and you didn't mean to. Okay, so for some reason this ship is not attacking this one. I'm not sure what's going on there. I don't know if it's just bugged or what. Not sure. I moved off and caused it to bug out, I guess. So I don't know if that one's actually there or if it's already dead and it just didn't despawn. I'm not really sure. But the whole point you get here is that doing this like this is the most effective way to get a lot of points quickly. If you try to just lead, and I'm always the proponent of having your fleets on trade missions at all times. These two, your Graham and your Dem and your Oppo on trade missions all the time, and leave your Graham free for when you want to run around and do whatever. But at this situation, it's more effective and more efficient for you to use all three, because you can, for the hour it takes you to farm these enough to get the points you need, you can then put them back on trade missions and go do dishes or go mow the yard or whatever you want to do. You can reclaim some of your life back. You don't want to stay on the game 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you want to look for ways that you can jump in, make the biggest bang for your buck, and then get off again, because you want to have a life. So that's just why I look for these little efficiency tips and tricks, because efficiency is something in games that really gets me hot. So I really like it a lot, and I'm always looking for those ways to do that and then pass them on to you guys. So in my opinion, this is the most effective way to get points, other than hoarding, for day one of the Guild versus Guild event. I hope you've enjoyed this content. I hope it's helped you kind of expand your horizons and learn a little bit about maybe some of the better tactics that you can employ to help you do better and get better points. Obviously, the more points you get, the better it's going to be for your guild, you know. So you're going to do your part, you're going to do your thing and get your points, and you're going to help them out as well. So that's always a bonus in my opinion. So thanks for watching today. I just want to say thank you to the community for all the love you guys have shown me. The increase in my subscribers since I started covering this game has been huge, and that means you guys like this game, and I'm hoping you like my content. So subscribe, hit that like notification, hit that bell so that you're notified whenever I make more content on Foundation Galactic Frontier, and let's get out there and be good to each other, all right? I'll talk to you later in the next video. Peace! Gotta get me some points. I gotta get this chest right here, and then I can go do the dishes to pay off my debt. Credit card debt. See ya!